it's not uncommon to feel storm fatigue or even anxiety. Meteorologist Cassie Wilson checks in with the local resident and therapist.
It's been an active start to severe weather season. Texas, Missouri, and Kansas, the top 3 states for most severe weather reports. It seems like Tornado Alley is making a comeback. And taking a look at just the tornado reports alone, Tornado Alley makes up 76% of the reported tornadoes so far this season. The states with the most tornadoes: Iowa, Texas, Kansas, Ohio, and Missouri. In years past, early season tornado activity usually hangs in what we call Dixie Alley, closer to the Gulf, but not this year. In fact, if we look at the trend across Kansas and Missouri, you'll see that, well, in April, we were 3 times the normal amount for tornadoes reported. And so far, May, it's on pace to be above normal as well.
We must pay attention to mental health related to storms and weather. It's vital for us. It's something where I think repeated exposure over time, again, we talked about kind of the traumatization process that can happen, and that can create symptoms of PTSD.
So Kansas City, I've got to ask, are we all getting through severe weather season okay?
I'm from Texas and we don't get tornadoes very often, but you hear that storms just come through and take down everything in their path. And I live alone, so that's a terrifying thought.
This is Megan Moore. She moved to Liberty for college and developed storm anxiety after having to shelter in her dorm at William Jewell. She's now settled in the KC area, but her storm anxiety, not so much.
It's actually probably become worse since I've lived alone.
Having a plan helps, but there are other things you can do to help ease your storm anxiety.
Coping skills are anything that can help our body with resources in, the situation that we're maybe most afraid of.
The goal of these skills, to help regulate our bodies, which Dr. Bethea Johnson explains is vital to easing anxiety symptoms.
Deep breathing, and that's one where you can teach yourself and then you can also teach others. And that's one that you could engage in as a family as you're staying safe.
Breathing, simple stretches and yoga, verbalizing your feelings, using guided imagery or listening to music. All of these things can help build our mind-body connection.
Our kiddos and other people feel that anxiety within us and feel that fear within us.
By strengthening your emotional well-being and having a plan, you can help create a kind of muscle memory. That way, when the panic signal starts to go off in your brain, your body will know how to drive. One other thing that both women agree on, though, knowledge is power.
Just to normalize as much as we can.
Stay prepared. Come up with your kit beforehand and just educate yourself and know that there are other people in the community who are in the same boat.
And you can trust your 41 Weather team to always be here, whether it's answering your questions or making sure you're prepared. Reporting for KSHB 41 Weather, I'm meteorologist Cassie Wilson.
Wes, I think weather fatigue really is a thing.
Absolutely. I used to actually have a fear of thunder and lightning, and I was luckily able to kind of grow out of it and learn more about weather.
Interesting, the meteorologist.
Yes, but weather fatigue, I think, has probably increased this year. We've seen so many tornadoes. We've seen 24 tornadoes so far this season, and we're pretty much hitting the peak of severe weather season right now. This is the most severe thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings we've seen issued in about 21 years here in our area. So this is a lot of severe weather, and it's okay if you are feeling overwhelmed by the severe weather.